Hi everyone, it's Simon here from Sterling Coaching and welcome to this week's very late in the day for some of us, Monday's Moment video. And today I want to talk about the theme of breaking away from the typical. And in the title of this video I say, should we break away from the typical? Yes, we should. And I'll explain why in just a moment. Now, the reason I say we should break away from the typical is because during the past 2 or 3 years, when people have had time on their hands because of the pandemic, because people have gone more online, it seems that the whole world is trying to market to us through social media, through email, through all the different channels and platforms, and try to sell us a program, some content, educators, make us better people. And yes, we have become an audience which consumes more of this. But the problem is, so many people now are saying so much of the same thing. And the problem is, we're like the goldfish in the bowl there. We're just one of many people out there competing and trying to stand out in the same noise by doing the same typical thing. And that's what this Monday's Moment is about. If we want to improve our marketing, if we want to increase our sales, if we want to do better, then we've got to break away from the typical. And this was emphasized today when I met a client of mine, Stuart, this afternoon. And we were talking about some of the campaigns he'd done in the past. And I mentioned about sending a quarterly e-news catch-up. And he said, well, actually, before Christmas, we sent out one by letter, physical postal letter to his clients. And that was so much more welcomed, so much more engagement from it, so much conversation from it, because it wasn't typical. And in Mike Michalowicz's book, Get Different, he talks about the fact that, and this is some time ago, that if we want to improve our marketing, if we want to improve our sales, if we want to improve our conversion, we have got to be different. We've got to change the colour. We've got to change the style of what we do. We've got to stand out. We've got to not be like the sheep in the image there, all looking the same. Just because everybody else is going that way, just because everybody else seems to be doing that, sure, some of them are going to be successful, some of them are going to be very successful, but the majority of the sheep in that road there, that street there, are going the same way, and they're going to end up at the slaughterhouse in exactly the same direction. So, or the shearing pen, whatever it is, for those of you who might be vegetarians. So we've got to look at being different, standing out as head and shoulders above the rest of the pegs that are around us. Be more colourful, be more energetic, whatever it is. We've got to stop being typical of our market. We've got to stop being typical of how we've always done things. And it's time to get different, as Mike said. There was a song I was listening to when I was doing my exercise the other day on Dennis Morton's Peloton ride. And the lyrics of that were all about breaking away from the typical. And now is the time for you to do that. So if you're going to scale and grow your business, if you want to be more in the year ahead of 2023, then we want to have a look at how you can break away from everybody else and get into that uniqueness, get into that perspective where you are the one that is commanding the interest. You are the one that is attracting those great clients to you. You're the one that's making the conversions when other people are competing on price and you're not competing on price. It's time to break away from the typical. And I hope that you will find something in your business that you can look at in the next perhaps few days, next week ahead, and say, is this typically what I would do? And how, as Simon said, can I do it differently? Now, I've got a couple of Facebook groups where I put lots of information like this into. I've got one for coaches and one for ambitious businesses. If you would like access to those free Facebook groups, in the coaches one, there's over 250 members that you can network with and share ideas with. And in the business one, that's a fairly new group, but there's certainly over 40 people in there already. So if you want to be in one of those groups and get more content from me, but also share your insights with each other, then please message me directly and let me know. And of course, I'd love to hear your stories in the Business Success and Coffee podcast. And if you want to consume some great stories that some of the guests have had, then please go to Sterling's Business Success and Coffee podcast on any of the platforms. And if you like any of the episodes, please leave a review. That would be really appreciated. I hope that my podcast and the new podcast that I've got coming up, which you'll hear about perhaps very soon, is something that makes me untypical. I'm not the typical business coach that's out there, whether I'm coaching coaches or coaching businesses. I think everybody would say I'm not typical, and it's time for you not to be typical in your marketplace as well. So just take that to heart and think about that in the week ahead, and let me know what you've done that is untypical for you, and let me know the results that you achieve in either direct messages or in the threads below this video as well. And if you've done something very untypical last week, if you've really took the effort to get different last week, then again, share it in the comments wherever you're seeing this video, whatever platform, whatever channel you're seeing this on. Just put it in the comments below, and I hope this will inspire lots of people, as you should be inspiring other people around you, to get different and to break away from the typical. And I'll see you on next week's Monday's Moments, and of course the other posts that I put out there as well. Have a great rest of your Monday, and I'll speak to you all on some kind of podcast, some kind of post very soon. Bye for now.